So, it's the end of October, and I'm actually filming this a little earlier than I usually would, for a couple of reasons, but mostly because November 2nd is going to come around, and my life is going to be taken over. So, this is my October favorites video, and I guess to sort of start off, the very first thing that I have on this list that happened in October is that EXO announced their comeback. So, EXO is my favorite K-pop group. They announced that their new album is going to come out on November 2nd. It's called Don't Mess Up My Tempo. You bet I pre-ordered that, and I'm totally going to do an unboxing video of, like, the albums. I got all 3 versions. It's fine if you're, like, not interested in this. I will quickly move on. But, yeah, one of the best things to happen in October, like, this year, because everyone was waiting for it. It was like July, August, September. We were like, okay, when's it coming? In K-pop, comebacks happen like, for full albums, it happens like every year, but they have mini albums that come out like half a year. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we've had no EXO for like more than a year, and it finally happened. Yeah, so that comes out November 2nd, and it's going to take over my life because I love music and I love EXO, and EXO's my favorite. There we go. Yes. Okay. So, what I actually have to talk about, though, that's the main reason why I'm filming this a little earlier, which also means, though, that the things that I watch, like, in the next few days, aren't going to be, like, added to this list, because even if it's a rewatch, I haven't, like, rewatched it yet, so I don't know if it would really be, like, a favorite or a highlight from this month. So, obviously, I'm only including things that I've actually done, even if I plan on watching certain movies like on Halloween. So, that being said, I'm going to start with a couple of books that I'm actually not going to talk about too much because I plan on doing other videos about them. First, I have The Raven Boys, and then, which I've like mentioned this at least in one other video. So, The Raven Boys and The Dream Thieves, both by Maggie Stiefvater. These are the first 2 books in a series of 4 books called The Raven Cycle. And so, yeah, these are, oh my god. There we go again with my, there we go. Oh my god, that's so much better. I'll show the covers again because it was so out of focus. What was I saying? These are the first 2 books in the series of 4 called The Raven Cycle. I read The Raven Boys at the beginning of the month, like the first half of the month, and it instantly became a new favorite, and so I have already filmed, actually this is like a pretty good preface for those videos, I'm gonna set this down, but I recorded a like discussion video. Except it's 3 videos because I had to split it into 3 parts because of the way that like my camera records, which I've explained before. I'm not going to get into it now. But yeah, so I've filmed a sort of review discussion video about The Raven Boys, just the first book so far. And then I'll probably do another one with The Dream Thieves, even though I have yet to edit the 3 parts of the Raven Boys discussion. So the thing with that is I started to record it and it was going great, and I wanted to do like a non-spoilery part first and then get into like discussion being specific, but my non-spoilery kind of overview thoughts ended up being like 19 minutes or something like that, like unedited obviously, and then I was like, you know what, I'll do like this in 2 parts, and then part 2 will be the spoilery stuff and get into more detail. And then I was like halfway through my notes and I was going on to like where my camera would cut off and start to record in another video. And I was like, shoot, I'm going to have to make this 3 parts. So like as I'm filming, I'm like, well, I guess this is going to be 3 parts now. But I'm really looking forward to posting that just because even if you're like not into books, but just saying like in BookTube, in the BookTube community, The Raven Cycle is a really popular series, so I'm kind of hoping that other people who have read the series or have read the first book would be able to find that, and we'd be able to have a discussion about it. Like, I kind of go off on, like, all these theories, but, I'm not really looking forward to editing those either. But they are what they are, and I keep looking down at the books. Here they are again. Now I have some movies, which I'm also not going to talk too much about because I have either already talked about them or I plan on talking about them more. So I only have like a handful here. First, I have The Silence of the Lambs from 1991, directed by Jonathan Demme. This is the Criterion edition, which I got this summer at Barnes & Noble during the Criterion half-off sale that they have every summer. And this was like a rewatch for me, but I hadn't seen it since like I think my sophomore year of high school, which would have been like 2010, 2011, depending on what time of the year it was. Yeah, so it has been a long time, and I was kind of disappointed with it the first time, which I'll get into more detail. The thing is, I'm going to talk about this in a sort of update video that I actually mentioned in like my last month's favorites video, that I was going to do an update of like the Criterion films that I got over the summer, because now I have fully like watched them all and watched all the supplements, whereas I said I was going to do that, like I said that it was something I was going to do in my last month's favorites video, and at that point I hadn't watched The Silence of the Lambs yet, or another film, so I still had a couple more films to watch, basically. And so, yeah, I'm going to do like an update video talking about the films that I got this past summer, and now that I've like watched them all. So I'm not going to really get into this, but it's like a new favorite film, and I have no idea what I was thinking when I watched it the first time, which I will explain again in that video when it happens. I also have Repulsion from 1965, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Directed by Roman Polanski, and I watch this like every October, and I either forget things that happen or I have to consistently be reminded of things that happen, because I don't know, I've seen this so many times, like once a year for the past at least 4 years, and I just like forget things about it, and then I'm like, oh my god, oh yeah, that happens, and I don't know, I just like, I think I maybe like see it differently each time, or there are just other details that I focus on with each rewatch. So I appreciate that when I'm rewatching a film, to notice other things about it. I also have the 25th anniversary live at the Royal Albert Hall Phantom of the Opera. Sorry, I was like putting it in focus again. Phantom of the Opera, the musical. I'm trash for the Phantom of the Opera. And this time around, though, I say that a lot, don't I? This time around, I think I was really fed up with the Phantom. Like, he's really annoying, and it's ridiculous. But I still love it, and I just really appreciate the costumes of this and the music, and I'm so glad that they like recorded it live. I feel like this should be a thing that happens more often, even if it's not some like, 25th, you can't even see it. Even if it's not some like 25th anniversary thing. I know that there's something similar to this with Les Miserables. It's like 10th anniversary or something like that, I think, and it was performed live and recorded. I wish that they did this more with musicals for people who don't live in a city where big musicals like happen, I guess. Even though I live in Southern California, I guess I could always go to like LA for things, but still, for people who don't spend money going to musicals. And then I have The Evil Dead from 1981, directed by Sam Raimi. And I just watched this a few nights ago, and I think that I've like, I never realized just how much of like a B horror movie this kind of is. I noticed more of the way that it was made this time around. Oh my god, stop saying this time around. I have to stop. I have to think of something else. Okay. But yeah, I did. Like, in the cabin, the lighting is so weird. Like, it wouldn't be that bright. It's just like this really harsh white, very white light. And I'm like, why? It wouldn't look like that, but it's like for the purpose of filming. And then it was just, there are parts that get like really bloody. And I was like, I wonder how they film this. Cause I actually don't know if I've watched the special features on this. Or if I've seen any like behind the scenes footage or anything like that. So I'm kind of wondering how they filmed it, because I feel like they would have to go like in order of like what happens in the movie because things just get so bloody and so destroyed. Like everything in the cabin is just like on the floor at one point. Like, just everything is destroyed. And yeah, so I feel like that would just be a pain in the butt basically to continue to clean up and then put everything back together, especially after like bloody scenes or like yeah, basically after bloody scenes where there's like the parts where the characters, it looks like they're spitting up milk. It's really gross. I don't even like milk, so it's even grosser to me. Anyway, is that all I have to say? I feel like this has almost I feel like this was sort of like a cult classic beforehand, but now it's like definitely a classic and I just really like this movie. Um yeah, I actually have not seen the other two films. There's like the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness? Darkness? Army of Darkness. Yes. Um yeah, so I should really do that, shouldn't I? And then I have a couple of movies that I don't have. I watched them in different ways. So I have Clue from 1985, directed by Jonathan Lynn. I found this on the Freeform app, which Freeform used to be ABC Family. I just like wanted to watch this, but I didn't have it. And I basically, if I don't have a film and I want to watch it, I basically go to Google and just type watch and then whatever film it is. And then usually it comes up like if it's available on things, then it'll have like the logos for each thing. Like found Clue on Freeform. I have Roku, so I just like downloaded the like app, I guess, on my Roku and synced it up and watched Clue. And it was so funny. It's so funny. I also like that there are like three endings and they all are sort of like plausible, but like I think a lot of it just like sort of goes over my head. Like all the specific details, I'm like, okay, yeah, that seems like that could work out. And then it goes, but this is what really happened. And then you're like, yeah, I believe that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, no, this is really what happened. And you're like, okay, yeah, okay, that's possible too. And yeah, I like the end. Well, I like the whole movie, but I like at the end when they're like, I'll tell you what happened. And then they're all like moving from room to room, basically going through what happened in the first half of the movie. But they're all moving back and forth from like, I don't know, the billiard room to the lounge, like over and over and over again. They're just all over the house. It's ridiculous. There's also some like more adultish jokes that went over my head as a kid, even though I think I still picked up on a lot when I was younger. This is actually a movie that my brother and I watched all the time. I guess when I was in elementary school. When we were in elementary school, it always seems weird to say that because if I say I'm in elementary school, that means my brother's 4 years younger than me. So sometimes I question like why. Sometimes I just question like us watching things when we were younger. It was so enjoyable though, rewatching Clue. I'd like to have this movie, and I'd love to see behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how much is available. I'm always interested in behind the scenes featurettes and those kind of special features. I was that kid, like whenever my family and I would whenever my family would rent a movie, it'd be over and I'd be like, let's go to the special features, and everyone would be like, no, you can do that, Bailey. Like, we'll just let you do that and we'll leave. And then a sort of outlier film compared to the rest of these sort of horror and scary movies, Call Me by Your Name from last year, 2017, directed by Luca Guadagnino. Sorry for that terrible pronunciation. I don't really know if this is like a favorite film of mine, but I watched it a few days ago and it's just like been in my head. And that's weird to me because the book didn't even have that sort of impact on me. I very much enjoyed the book and I liked it. I liked the way it was written. And the same thing happened when I was watching the movie adaptation. I was like, I like this. This is really good. I can see what other people were talking about when they're like, oh my God, I love this movie. But I didn't love it. But I keep thinking about it for some reason. I think something, I guess, sort of like memorable about it. I don't know how well I'm going to explain this, but I think that it's really subtle. And that makes it memorable. That yeah, especially with a lot of the feelings that the characters are going through, specifically Elio or Elio. I think they said Elio in the film, but I was pronouncing his name as Elio beforehand. Um, yeah, I think Timothée Chalamet's facial expressions are really well done. Like they're not overly done. They're subtle, but there's still like so much feeling towards them, like with them. Especially having read the book beforehand, like I know certain, like for example, after Oliver and Elio have sex for the first time, Elio wakes up feeling really guilty and completely ashamed of what they did, and that's shown on Timothée's face for like a couple of seconds, just really, really shortly. And then you're kind of like, what's happening? What is he feeling? And but like nothing ever like really comes of it. Like it's not overly explained or really explained at all. And I don't know. It just had like a subtleness about it that made it memorable for me. I really like the cinematography of it. And I also like the score, but like sort of the lack of the score because there really there really wasn't a score for the most part, as well as there were random like piano parts, and that I felt like represented certain transitions and movement within the film. But then for the most part, it was just the noise of outside and the house and the characters. I don't know how well I explained that, but I should definitely move on. I'm just gonna list some TV shows because I've already talked about them before, and I take a really long time watching TV shows. So I've been watching and really enjoying Buffy, Daria, Merlin, Bewitched, and the Tudors. And now I'm just have a bunch of music. I probably should have thought about this a little bit more. I have so much music to talk about because just things were happening. Basically, the first half of the month seems really different compared to the second half of the month, and I'm just going to go through this. So I have my notebook here, and I will leave, as always, any music videos, first like links to music videos or lyric videos of these songs, and to my October favorites playlist on Spotify. I have a lot. Actually, it doesn't seem like as much as I thought I would. I also sort of like went down. The thing is, a lot of comebacks happened this month, as well as I went down this sort of like rabbit hole on YouTube. Like when you just keep clicking videos and you're like, how did I get here? But you're just accepting it and and continuing to watch videos. So that happened, and it inspired a whole other playlist that I feel a little weird sharing, only because it's like it's a mood, but like only I feel like people my age will like really get it, but maybe if you're like a little older, you'd be like, what? So I'm not going to share it. Why am I telling you that? I'm going to tell you now the songs that, mostly they're songs. There are a couple albums, a few albums. Okay, here we go. So first, B.A.P, oh my gosh. Pray, oh my gosh. Pray is so good. It like, I can't talk about every song, but Pray, it sounds like this weird like chant in the beginning, and I'm like really into it. Like it totally is an October song, and I love it. It's so good. Also, it's the two rappers of B.A.P and most of my favorite members of K-pop groups. Oh yeah, by the way, I think this is all K-pop. But most of my favorite members of K-pop groups are the rappers. And then also their song, I Guess I Need You, which is not just the rappers, it's everyone. Moon by Jonghyun, a bunch of songs by Dreamcatcher, but mostly just like their Alone in the City album. Dreamcatcher is this like K-pop group, but like they're more kind of pop mixed with like metal and rock. Like they're and they're called Dreamcatcher, so it's just like Dreamcatcher is this month's mood. They're great, but they came out with a new album, Alone in the City. I love that. Specifically, the song Wonderland is so good. I love that song. And Good Night is another song that they had previously released that I really love. Lay from EXO. He had a lot. He has a lot going on. Oh my gosh. So he came out with his first ever like American album, like English album. It's called Na Na Na. And so that album came out, and it's the songs, I'm pretty sure it's just repeated. It's the songs in Chinese, but then also in English. And so his song Give Me a Chance is probably my favorite. I haven't like delved into the album a lot though because of how many albums came out this month. But his Nama Nana music video is insane. It's insane. Like I said, I mentioned before that I really want to do. I have to figure out like how to do it, but I really want to do a sort of K-pop music videos to watch like for film fans because the quality production of K-pop music videos is insane. And this one it's gotta cost millions of dollars. And I heard that it was all paid for by Lay himself, which is just like, oh my god, like not SM or like the companies that he works with. So yeah, the music video is crazy. It kind of reminds me of Time Bandits, even though I've never even seen that film, but like just from the cover, that could be a total stretch. I don't know. Also, his song Peach, which is about butts. But or a butt, like that's what Peach is. Anyway. That's a good song though. Okay. And then I have Bebe by Soeunguk. Also sorry for any mispronunciation. Angel by Hoya. Thirsty by Taemin. Makeup by Sam Kim featuring Crush. That's probably like Bebe and Makeup are like definitely like a couple of songs that are like really high on my playlist right now. Like just I keep listening to them over and over again. Woo Ah by Crush. Circle, Chained Up, and Sugar by Vix. Feel So Good by Impact, which is who thought of this? I love it, but like who thought of that chorus? It's great. Queen and What Am I to You by History, EO EO by Unique, Shootout and Myself by Monsta X. They had their second full-length album come out this month. It's called like, oh, I forget what it's called. I think it's like Take Two. Where are you there? Are you there? Are you there? I think that's what it's called. But my favorite songs on it are Shootout and Myself. This also is a sort of like recent release too. Like more recent than Namanana, basically. So I haven't listened to it too much, especially because I just keep listening to like a lot of the same songs right now. But Myself is really good. Shootout is like their title track, so I've been watching like the music video. Stray Kids, oh my god. I think this new album that they came out with, I guess it's like I would consider it their third mini album because they have come out with 3. It's sort of like a trilogy. This one's called I Am You. I think it's my favorite from them, sorry. Yeah, I Am You. That's my favorite title track, definitely, from the 3 that they have. But My Side has like this weird like rock, like rock influence, and I really like that considering the other like big chunk of music that I listen to is like alternative punk rock stuff, but it like mixes this like rap flow that they have because like Stray Kids is a more rap heavy group. It's just really good. It's really good. And then NS, which I think the English title is like NS, but then it also has like Hangul in which is the Korean like symbols. That's also in the title, and I think that translates to opposite. So I guess the song could also be called Opposite. That one's really fun. That one's great. And 0325, I mean, I basically just listed almost all the songs on that album. So the I Am You album from Stray Kids. GOT7's new album called, is it Present You or Present You? I don't know. But I think other people have also been calling this their Lullaby album because that's the title track, which is really good. I love this album. GOT7's kind of hit or miss for me sometimes, but this album I've like fully been listening to, and I think that's a real testament to them as a group because I'm pretty sure that this is one of the other times that they've had more control over their music, and I'm so glad that they're getting that because I think the more missed songs are things that are really controlled by JYP, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, basically. But my favorite song on the album is called No One Else. And then Boys Republic, their ending credit album, it only has 2 songs on it, You're My and Rattled. They disband, so this is their like goodbye album, even though it's only 2 songs. I Need You by Uptension, Blah, and I Go Holic by PLT. PLT should like I don't know, I can just see them like blowing up here, like I guess in terms of the Western world. Specifically, I didn't like I Go Holic at first, but then I like listened to it again and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, how could I not listen to this? And it definitely sounds like something that would come from like, I don't know, that just sounds more like American music, I guess. Which I'm kind of not into, like hip hop rap from America right now, but I'm totally into Korean music like that. I also have Steal Your Heart by Unit Black, which I think, I don't know that much about Unit Black, so I guess if you're watching this and you know about Unit Black, like, let me know things. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm a little confused about what Unit Black is. Okay. And then NCT 127 came out with a new album, their first full-length album, and my favorite songs from that are My Van, Run Back to You, which is like the outro song. Well, it shouldn't be called like an outro song, but it's like it's a bonus song. That's what it is. And the interlude is insane. It's so good. Yeah. So the interlude is called Regular to Irregular. And that's like a TO, whereas like Run Back to You is like a number 2 and then just a U. Your Difference by Lucent. I have no idea how you say their name. Lucente. But they came out with a new album. They just debuted. Your Difference is really good. I'm looking forward to what else they put out. As well as ATEEZ. Oh my god, they debuted. I've been following them for a while. They debuted, basically, and it's really exciting. And Pirate King and Treasure, it's an iconic debut. Noir, their songs, Gangsta and Airplane Mode, those are great. And Like a Flower by N Flying, which like just came out, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And Florence and the Machine just came out with a new album. That's not K-pop, but Florence and the Machine just came out with a new album. I saw her performance of Patricia on some late night show. I don't know, I just saw the video on YouTube and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I have to listen to that album because I really like Florence and the Machine. I forgot that she was on this list though, so I probably should have mentioned her first since she's not K-pop and everything else I've been talking about in terms of music is K-pop. And I don't think that many people actually like watch the K-pop stuff, the music stuff in my favorites videos. But yeah, so that is it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for watching. What were some of your favorite things from October? Favorite movies that you watched, books that you read if you like to read. And yeah, I will, again, thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.